Hi, this is Bykov-Brett. Welcome to the channel. What we're going to do is go through a brief tutorial today on how to create a text to voice reader. And what we're going to use is a piece of software called Descript, which is essentially going to allow us to train an AI to replicate our voice. The way that I utilize this is to create report summaries. So I use an AI to take a report and turn it into a brief summary. And then I use the AI reader to be able to read that report out so I can start to listen to these reports on the go. So let me show you an example of how that kind of looks and what effect we're going for through this tutorial. Hi, you're listening to Distributed Republic's report summaries, where we provide you an executive summary of reports relating to decentralization, Web3, the metaverse and AI. The notes shared from this report have been summarized utilizing AI technology, and Jamie Bykov-Brett's voice has also been generated by AI. So we're going to be using an application called Descript. There's a paid for and a free application of it. I'm using the paid for version, which has a small subscription fee every month. And I think you might need it to be able to use the AI voices, but if not, there's a free version there as well. So when you open up the application, what you're going to see is any projects that you have here. Because it's going to be your first time, you're probably not going to have any projects, but because I use this quite frequently, you can see it all there. And what you can see is I've already got a voice on here, which is Jamie. We're going to create a new one today, which is going to be called Jamie Example. And essentially what we're going to do is give that example lots of pieces of content of us talking in order for it to be able to train the AI to simulate our voice. So the first thing we want to do is go to this top right hand corner where it says create new voice. I'm going to go Jamie Example. And now what it's going to give us here is this area to be able to do a transcript and to create these video files. So what I want to do is I'm going to add new content here. I'm going to go add a file from the computer, and what I'm going to utilize is this video that I've got here, exploring virtual worlds. And what you're going to see is it's going to create a transcript for the video that's being uploaded. So what I want to be able to do is go into where it says project files, and I can drag that project file into my current project. If I go to where it has the little arrow here, I can click on that and go transcribe file. And now what it's going to do is create a transcript of the content that I've created. Now this is going to be really useful because it's going to be the recording of this. It's going to train our AI to replicate our voice. What it's worth noting is that you need to have at least 10 minutes worth of content to be able to train an AI on how to speak in your voice. And what you also want to think about is potentially, particularly for the first run of things, is using recordings that essentially utilize just you in them rather than having recordings with multiple voices. I'll show you what you can do to get around that if you don't have any of that, but this is a really useful way to be able to start things off. So first of all, it's going to transcribe this document. And the way this now works is we should be able to get all of the content that we have here. So you can see that it's transcribed the document here. Now here's the useful thing if you don't have any content that is just you talking, is you can select the speaker for each part of what's been spoken. So if I select the speaker here, and I'm going to go, I can either get it to detect speakers and I can tell you how many speakers are on it, or I can tell it specifically what voice it wants to be able to utilize. So this one is for Jamie Example. And I can do that for all of the ones that are here. It's automatically put it. You can get it to do an automatic detection as well, just let it know how many voices are in there. But I always think the first time around it's really useful if you can give it just clear cuts of your voice. Right, so we need to have 10 minutes worth of footage in here, so I'm going to add some more pieces to this document. So I've just used one video 10 times. That's definitely not what you want to do, but I'm just using it as an example for training purposes. So what you want is to have 10 minutes of clear footage. Once I've got all of that in and it's wrote a transcript of it, what I want to do is go to submit training data, which is this blue button in the top right hand corner. And then what it's going to ask me to do is to verify that I have permissions to be able to use the voice that I'm doing. So all I do is click on the microphone that I want, and then I'm going to read out the text. I hereby verify that I, Jamie Bykov-Brett, am currently speaking and that I'd like Descript to create an overdubbed version of my voice. I understand that this overdubbed voice can be used to create speech that sounds like my voice. Press the pause button when you're done and click submit. Now what that's going to do is it's going to start training the AI on how to use your voice. What it will do is once it's completed that, it will send you an email to say your voice is up and running. But what I'm going to do is a very art attack thing where I say, hey, here's what I've made earlier so I can show you how to do these projects. So I'm going to go back to where it says recent projects. And for this one, I am going to go for a new project. And I want to use the text to speech function that's available here. So I'm going to use it with starting writing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the text that I have from one of my previous articles about how World of Warcraft had a pandemic in their metaverse. So all I need to do is click where it says start writing and paste it in. And what you'll see when you paste in initially is the text is a light blue color. Now, what I need to be able to do is select the voice that I want this to be read in. So where it says speaker, I'm going to select the voice that I created earlier. And what you'll see initially once you start to do that is the text will start to change color. And what will happen is it will get a blue line underneath it. And what that means is this is where it's generating the voice. So once you can see there's a blue line under it, it means it's creating the audio file for that. And once that blue line disappears, it means that that part is ready to be read out. So now you can see all the text has gone from that light blue to a dark blue, and all the blue line that's underneath it has disappeared. So now what I can do is hear that text being read out in my AI voice. So all I need to do is navigate to this play button here and press play. In 2005, Blizzard, the company behind the video game World of Warcraft, a massively multiplayer online role-playing game, unintentionally started a plague in their metaverse which eerily mirrored the challenges, impact and behaviors of real pandemics. Once you've listened to that through, you can go and publish that by going to the top right-hand corner. You go to where it says export, and I tend to keep all of the settings the same for this and just go to where it says export here. And you'll save it as a lossless WAV file. You can see all the notifications of how far it's progressing in the bottom right hand corner. Right, and now we can see our audio has been exported, so I can click on open. In 2005, Blizzard, the company behind the video game World of Warcraft, a massively multiplayer online role-playing game, unintentionally started a plague in their metaverse which eerily mirrored the challenges, impact and behaviors of real pandemics. So now you can upload that audio file to wherever you like. I hope you found this tutorial useful. It's quite a brief one, it's quite a straightforward thing to be able to do, but if you have any questions or any thoughts, please don't hesitate to ask them in the comments, and we look forward to seeing you back at this channel very soon.